If someone would have told me that starting an agency would allow me to be in the same club with Wolverine, I would have started an agency way before. I run the biggest marketing agency in the world for course creators. I have done this for the past 10 years, generated over $50 million for my clients and over 1 million leads for them. I work with the biggest people in the space, from Tony Robbins, Marisa Peer, Sabari, Jordan Peterson, Mindvalley, Founder.com, Danny Morel, and many more. Today, I'm going to share all of these stories. How I was able to get these incredible clients, the results we got them, so that you can learn exactly how you can do the same for your business and take it to the next level. So let's get ready and let's go. If it's the first time that you're here, hey, I'm Alessio Pieroni. I'm the founder of Scale for Impact, and I'm using this YouTube channel to share all my stories, because I've seen that so many people can get so much value by simply hearing the things that I've learned on my way, and that's my major goal here. Obviously, if you're a course creator, I also have a marketing agency that can help you. And if you make less than $250K a year, no worries, I have nothing to sell you, so get all the knowledge you can get from this channel, and I hope that it will help you to go to the next level. If you're making more than that and you want some support, you can book a call with me down below, or you can just subscribe and learn a bit more from me from all the different videos. I'm probably the first marketing agency owner that hated marketing agencies. So if you're not familiar with me, my journey started in Mindvalley. I started as a project manager that became a marketer, fall in love with marketing, started leading teams, and then became the chief marketing officer because I was bringing a lot of good results. And then I helped the company scale from 25 million to 75 million in 2 years. And at the end of this journey, I just felt I want to become an entrepreneur. Now, everyone was telling me, Alessio, you need to open a marketing agency. And I was like, absolutely not. And the reason was simple. Every marketing agency I met had the same pattern, the same mistakes. We were hiring them, doing well for a few months, and after they will just optimize, automate as much as possible, give us a worse and worse service, and then they just wouldn't be worth it for us. And I was like, I don't want to run an agency. I hate agencies. When I left Mindvalley, I resigned in January 2020, but my last day in office was March 2020. And that was COVID. The world was very different. I was in the worst lockdown in the world in Malaysia, and I didn't know anymore what to do. I was alone at home and I was bored, and thanks God, someone started to call me. And that someone was an Italian entrepreneur. His name is Alessio. He's one of the biggest course creators in Italy. It's a company that does over 50 million euros, even quoted in the Italian stock exchange, and it's the biggest financial educator in Italy, sort of a Robert Kiyosaki of Italy. And he called me and told me, Alessio, I know you just left Mindvalley and I think you can help me. I'm like, how can I help you? It's like, well, our business is completely offline. We run big events and then we sell our programs. The big problem is that right now there is COVID. Italy is completely blocked. So our business is going down. You need to help us save it. And I don't know, maybe I felt a bit patriotic, but I was like, okay, I need to help Alfio. He deserves it. He shares such a good message in the world that I need to help him. And that's what we started doing. I started working with him and with his team. And in 5 months, we created 5 courses and 5 masterclasses that transformed his entire business, brought it online, increased a lot the profitability because he didn't need to run the offline events that he used to run, and it literally saved the company. Saved a lot of the businesses that he was doing, a lot of the jobs in the company because it was a pretty big company. And that was an exciting time for me because I felt for the first time, oh, the knowledge I got in Mindvalley is useful for someone else. And I can help out other businesses. I remember we did, in a market like Italy, probably $3-4 million launches in a row, which was kind of insane. And it was really a game changer. And I just did the same thing I used to do in Mindvalley. In Mindvalley, I learned very well to do webinars, and I was just applying the same exact things for Alfio. And this was proof that what I learned, I could apply it into other people's businesses. And then again, I still had other free time. I was still at home and I needed some extra revenue. I was like, okay, let's see if there is something else. And when I was thinking that, I just got a call. And the call was from Marisa Peer's team. They called me and they told me, Alessio, why don't we chat and see if there is something we can do together? And so I tell them about all the things I've been doing with Alfio, and I'm like, we should do webinars together. It's amazing. And then Marisa's team tell me, we tried webinars, it didn't work that well for us, so now webinar is not a thing. What else do you have? And then I panicked. I had literally no idea what I could say, because that's all I did. My Mindvalley story, it's all around webinars. And I remember a few months before, I was in a conference, Funnel Hacking Live, and in that conference there was one person on the stage that talked about this thing that was named a challenge. And she was talking exactly about how she was doing challenge for weight loss, and how she was doing a 14-day challenge, and in 14 days people will lose some kilos or pounds, and that everyone should do that because it's the coolest funnel ever. And completely out of idea, during that call, I'm like, look guys, we can do a challenge. And there is this woman that did this weight loss challenge and worked very well, we should do the same. And the team was like, oh, that's exciting, let's do it. And then we closed the call, and I realized I don't have any freaking idea on how to do a challenge. What do we do now? They think I'm an expert at this. And so what I did is that I started buying all the challenges I could buy and studying them, funnel hacking them, and see exactly the good, the bad, the great challenges, and then try to understand based on my webinar knowledge how I could put everything together and make this work. And that's exactly what we did with Marisa Peer. I remember the first challenge we did was a 21-day abundance challenge. And the biggest launch they had till the moment was about $100,000 in an entire launch. And on the first day of the challenge, we already did $70,000. At the end of the challenge, we did over $400,000 just with the challenge, and the back end brought another $200,000. It was a huge return on investment. They'd never seen something like that. And I remember that they came to me and I was like, oh my God, you're a god. How do you do this? You are a magic person. And I was like, oh goodness, I might really have something that can really help out people here. And so I continued working with them on different projects. And we started doing a lot of different challenges. We did a relationship challenge, we did a confidence challenge, we did a healthy living challenge. We kept on doing and doing and doing and doing super well. And again, being in this consultant role. And then another person called me. And this other person came through a random referral, and his name is Mark Walsh. And Mark was organizing a summit on embodiment. And he asked me for just some consulting call. I came up with a random price on the spot, and I gave him a few advices. If you're smart, okay, let's stay in touch. And after a while, he said, oh, the summit idea became so much bigger. Now, this summit is going to be a summit with 1,000 speakers. I'm like, 1,000 speakers? How do you do a summit with 1,000 speakers? It's like, look, it's very easy. You take the entire personal growth. We took 10 different pillars. So we have a pillar that is yoga, another pillar that is meditation, another pillar that is sexuality, another pillar that is this. And we have 100 speakers per pillar. And then we put together, and it's going to be the coolest thing that anyone has ever done in personal growth. Do you want to lead the marketing for that? And I was like, well, can consult on that if you want. And he's like, okay, let's do it. And so we started working together on this crazy project. 1,000 speakers, 500,000 people that sign up for the summit. We spent, I think, over $500,000 also in terms of advertising, generated 3.5 million. It was like incredible event. Something that was never done before. And then again, I was like, I'm good in running webinars. I became very good at running challenges. And then we did this very successful summit. I think I'm having something interesting here. And the more I was going, the more people were asking me, can you consult me on this? Can you consult me on this? Can you consult me on this? And then at a certain moment, I needed to start saying them no, because simply I didn't have any more time to consult people. At that moment, I already left Malaysia and went back to Italy. And I was just like in my house in Italy during COVID. And I was like, I hate my life. I hate my life because sure, I'm making more money than before, but I have no team. I feel alone. That's not really what I want to do. A lot of these people that I consult for, they always ask me, do you have a copywriter? Do you have a designer? Do you have a videographer? And every time I need to pull different freelancers in different projects. And right now I'm having too many clients and I just cannot say no anymore. How about I start hiring some people, and then I put them together and I can help all these clients and help. Yeah, that sounds cool. Like, I like to be a leader. I like to do this. And then I saw for a second, I'm like, isn't that an agency? And that's literally how my agency was born. I remember we sat down with my new team and I simply asked them, how should we call ourselves? And we knew that we wanted to help people scale, and we knew we wanted to help people to have an impact. And we decided to come up with different names that will combine these two things, and Scale for Impact came to be the name that we decided. And I remember that from that moment on, it was clear. Webinar, challenges, and summit. Those are the three things that we can really do, and we can really do very well. And back then, the focus was very simple. Let's launch. Let's launch different products, let's launch different things. A lot of people will need help in the market. So we started doing that, and it started working quite well. We had a lot of very good and early success with different clients. I remember in the first year we had a fantastic challenge with Brittany Watkins, that she's a tapping expert. And that challenge was very successful for her because she was able to evergreen that launch, and she was able to then scale it and have her entire business run on the back end of that. And I remember that I was still very question mark on this agency idea. And I was like, how about we create our own summit? And the summit we organize is going to be named Scale Summit. And Scale had a very specific idea, because Scale is an acronym for social, content, advertising, launch, and evergreen. So let's bring the best people on social, on content, on advertising, on launch, and evergreen. And we brought so many incredible speakers. Vishen came and speak, Brendan Kane was there, Jeff Walker was there, Jay Abram was there, Vern Harnish was there, Eric Sue was there. Like, incredible people in the marketing space then came, and we did this super huge summit. But then again, I was so much more in love with marketing than with my agency that we focused the entire summit around marketing because that was my interest. But we didn't have any product to sell for marketing, for people that wanted to learn marketing. And that summit was a failure. I worked so hard for it. And I remember that I was like, wow, I worked so hard for it and I didn't even make a profit. This is really tough. That summit was a huge lesson, because I built a summit for marketers, but my target audience were course creators. And so we made no money on the back end from that summit. And it was such a huge amount of work for no profit. As you can imagine, that wasn't really the ideal outcome that I had hoped for. So the most important lesson I got from there is always think about your target audience when you do a project, no matter how fun it is or not. It needs to align with your business if you really want this to make it work. So we decided to go back, and we decided to focus again in making our agency stronger and stronger. And I wanted to do more summits back then. So I remember that I started working with Alex Howard, and then I started working with Fleet Maul from Heart Mind Institute. And it was very beautiful to see how we could help them with something they didn't know. Because most of all the summit were just focusing on affiliates back then, right? They were just doing affiliates, and if affiliates wouldn't work, the summit wouldn't work. But then we come in and we say, hey, but why don't we do advertising? And we started to do ads for the summits, and that started to work incredibly well. Because the ads for the summit really took everything to the absolute next level. Specifically, we took some summits that were really doing okay to a whole different level. In 2021, we did the first time the Psychedelic Assisted Therapy Summit. And that summit itself was just fire. You know, sometimes when you go and do a launch, that something is fire. That was one of that. I think that we made more than $1 million with one single summit. And it was such a niche topic that I will never believe this will be possible. But that topic in the moment was so perfect that it just scaled like crazy. And that was the thing. We started bringing an innovation in an industry, and the word started going around. So every summit in the world wanted to work with us. And what happens there is that one of my best friends, Vadim, started to work with an incredible relationship therapist that is named Terry Real. And Terry really wanted to launch his book. Terry had a dream of becoming a New York Times bestseller. And Vadim told me, Alessio, you need to help us. I was like, okay, how would a summit work? Look, it's very simple. People sign up for a summit, we bring together the best therapists in the world, and then everyone sign up for the summit for free. If they want to get lifetime access, they just need to upgrade. The upgrade will include the book itself. So every summit upgrade we get a new book sale. And then during the summit, we sell the book to as many people as possible, and this will help us to get those 10,000 sales that allow us to get into the New York Times bestseller. And that was it. This was one of the most beautiful summit I've ever done. Number one, because Terry is just fantastic. And you know that sometimes you fall in love with a client and you really want to take this client and bring it to the next level. And Terry was really someone that was giving his entire heart to this project. One of the cool things that personally I was able to experience thanks to the summit is that Terry has the best people in the world as his clients. So just imagine that Bruce Springsteen is one of his clients, Gwyneth Paltrow, Bradley Cooper, and even Hugh Jackman is one of his clients. And Hugh Jackman was actually part of the summit. I still have that picture, and sometimes I look it back, that we're in a Zoom and it's like me, Hugh Jackman, and Terry, and I'm like, I'm in the same call with Wolverine? Really? Oh my goodness. So I have a great job, I must say this, right? If someone would have told me that starting an agency would allow me to be in the same call with Wolverine, I would have started an agency way before. But that was such an incredible summit. I remember we got over 60,000 people to join the summit. Out of that, we got 7,000 people to upgrade to get a book. And then Terry had also a few other podcasts and launches through a list that push it to get 10,000 sales of his book, and then became a New York Times bestseller. That is one of the campaigns that we did that I'm most proud of. It's an incredible book, As actually is the book, and that was really taking everything to the next level. And we continue like that. Every single time that we were doing something, we were looking at that as a team and be like, how do we improve this? Because at the time we have a summit, but sometimes a summit works, sometimes it doesn't. What makes a summit work? What makes a summit not work? Now we have a challenge, and we got a lot of incredible challenges that were working like crazy, and a lot of others that were flopping. So what's the difference between that? And then the same with a webinar. What makes a webinar work? What makes a webinar not working? And that was really important. The more we were fine-tuning and going deeper, the better it was. And around that time, we also started to work with some of the biggest people in the industry. We did incredible launch for Jordan Peterson. Jordan Peterson had this very interesting course that was around the Big Five. If you're familiar with the different personality tests, there is a test that's named the Big Five that basically teaches you fundamentally how to read yourself and how to read other people. And that course was, I think, one of the coolest courses around understanding yourself, and we were glad to be chosen as the agency that could launch that. So we did that launch, and the launch also was $1 million launch. It performed really well, and I was very excited. And then a few months after, we also had the opportunity to start working with Tony Robbins through the Robbins Madness training, which is the Tony Robbins coaching certification. And that was also another incredible journey, because we were able to come in and start completely revamping the marketing that they were having, transforming it, run advertising to it, and then be able to actually take it and scale that business to a next level. So that was a journey that really allowed us to take our agency to the next level, and this used to be named Robbins Madness Training, now named Madness Institute, still our client 4 years later. So it's really exciting also to see the evolution and the journey that we're having with these clients and where we're able to take them step by step. And around that time, we really started looking a bit deeper and say, okay, what are the things that we can do to help our clients even more? And one of the projects that I work with that I was most excited about was this first summit that I did with Mark Walsh. And what shocked me about the world of summit is that people work so hard in building a summit. They bring together 50 speakers, hundreds of thousands of people, whatever it is, and then nothing, that's it. The summit finished and that's it. You take this content and you trash it. And I was like, oh my God, that's so stupid. Why don't we transform this into something that runs continuously? And so that's what we did. We took literally the content from these huge summits, and I went to Mark and say, look, Mark, I'll put my money, my team, you don't need to pay anything. I will take this content, I will evergreen everything, and then everyone that sign up for the summit get added to my list and your list, and then if we make any profit, we split into two. We did that, and we launched our side project, and we named it Summits for Impact. And it started just like this, with a bet that I did with one client. And fast forward to today, this bet became a very real business. We have a community of over 100,000 people. We have 12 different summits that are running right now on so many different topics. We have 2 summits from Kenonda around abundance. We have a parenting summit with Shefali Tzvari. We have an embodiment summit. We have a spirituality summit. We have a health and longevity summit with Navin Jain. We have another longevity summit with Deborah Pullman. We have an incredible library, an incredible community of people interested in learning over and over again from different summits. And that's something that is really dear to me, because as an agency, we want to continue work with our clients and help them out, but at the same time, make an impact in the world. That's why we are scaled for impact. And the summits has been one of the best ways to do that, because there is nothing that builds a community like a summit, and nothing that can really allow us to scale in that way. And that's one of the projects that we're really loving so much as an agency and giving it so much more resources, because we believe that this can really scale to the level where it can become its own company. And we're kind of close to make that thing happen. So I'm very proud of that project. And fast forward to where we are today, I would say that our marketing agency right now is much bigger than when I started with just a couple of freelancers. Now we're over 20 people. We operate in, I think, 12 different time zones. We're very spread out in the world. We have an advertising department that we didn't have for the first couple of years, running hundreds of thousands of dollars in advertising every single month for our clients. And then we do a lot of different funnels. Obviously webinar, challenges and summits, but we also started working a lot more today on low ticket funnels. And this is very important because we've done this in multiple industries. We really see the need of bringing people in, make them pay something so that you can qualify the audience and then sell a back-end ticket at the end of that. So if you watch the video till here, I've seen so many stories, and you probably have seen how much I love all of these stories that I share. And you know, those are in the memory bank, in the heart bank even, I would say. But you know what's the best story? The next story. And if you want to be part of that, that might be your story. And as a business, our core is really helping taking your message and bring it to the world. That's what we've been doing for years. And scaling your impact. And if you feel that we could be the right people for that, then the simplest thing to do is that you can book a call below. Now, there is just one little rule. If your business makes less than 250K a year, we are not yet the best agency for you. And that's because we usually work with people that already have a bit of a product market fit. And we know that as an agency, we are a bit more of a premium agency that want to give a lot of support, and we are not able usually to do that for businesses that are smaller. But if you already have a product market fit, you have an audience, you generate already more than 250K a year, then we might be a really great match. So you can go down below, you can grab the link, book it, and we can jump on a call and see exactly if I can help you out. This is the game that we're in, like taking your impact and bring it to the next level. And this is what we've done for so many of the people I mentioned today. Over $50 million in revenues for our clients. We did over 1 million leads for our clients, and 10 years of mistakes, learnings, improving by day by day. And I really hope that this will be the best thing that you will need to take your business to the next level. So I'm really looking forward to this. And if you got any help from this video, please leave a like or a comment below, and obviously subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much, and see you at the next video.